You were told you weren't smart, but maybe you were just misunderstood. What if your deepest kind of intelligence was never measured, never named, never even seen? By the end of this video, you'll discover 5 forms of human brilliance that school never taught you to value, but life keeps asking you to develop. Yes, some people fail at tests, but others fail at living because they never learned how to feel, connect, or choose freely. Maybe you didn't fail the system. Maybe the system failed you. You can quote Plato, solve equations, graduate with honors. But still, you crumble in the face of conflict. You ghost people instead of talking. You say, "I'm fine," when you're not. And you don't even know why. Because the intelligence you needed most was never taught. This is the first kind of intelligence you can't learn in school: emotional navigation. The ability to feel deeply without being consumed, to stay present when your body wants to run, to name what you feel instead of becoming it. It's not about being emotional. It's about knowing what your emotions are telling you and what to do next. School taught you to memorize, but it didn't teach you how to hold heartbreak, how to sit in disappointment without turning it into bitterness, how to feel anger without making it someone else's fault. Emotional navigation is what allows us to love, to grieve, to forgive, to not explode when life doesn't go our way, to not disappear when someone gets close. It's not softness, it's strength with roots. But most of us were taught to dismiss this. We heard, "Don't be so sensitive. Just get over it. Don't cry. Be strong." So we became emotionally numb or emotionally chaotic. We lost the ability to interpret our inner world, and now we're anxious, reactive, exhausted, because unprocessed emotion doesn't die. It waits. Carl Jung wrote, "Emotion is the chief source of all becoming." To ignore our emotional life is to sever ourselves from transformation. So what does this intelligence look like in the real world? It's the friend who knows when you're hurting, even if you haven't said a word. It's the leader who pauses instead of reacting. It's the parent who doesn't shame the child's tears, but helps them explore them. It's the partner who says, "I'm not okay, but I want to understand why." It's presence, it's pause. It's the quiet skill of staying in your body when the world feels unsafe. You can't fake this. You can't rush it, and you can't learn it from a textbook. You develop it through reflection, discomfort, and willingness. Through asking, "What am I really feeling right now?" And then staying long enough to hear the answer. This is emotional intelligence, but not the corporate buzzword. Not about managing teams, about meeting yourself. Without it, all the other intelligence collapses. Because if you can't feel clearly, you can't live clearly. This is the first type of intelligence school never taught you. But life keeps testing you on it every single day. You know how to read books, but do you know how to read a room? You know how to write essays, but do you know how to listen without interrupting, fixing, or retreating? This is the second kind of intelligence school never taught you: relational intelligence. The ability to be fully with another human being without vanishing, overpowering, or pretending. It's not about charm, not about people skills or extroversion. It's about connection. Authentic, grounded, reciprocal connection. It's knowing how to say, "I hear you," without secretly waiting for your turn to speak. It's understanding where someone ends and you begin, so you don't merge or control or disappear. Relational intelligence is subtle. You don't notice it when it's present, You only notice it when it's missing. In the partner who constantly misunderstands you. In the friend who talks but never listens. In the coworker who dominates every room. Or the one who avoids every conversation. We are relational beings, but we rarely learn how to relate. We are taught grammar, but not how to say, I feel hurt, and I want to stay in this with you. We are taught teamwork, but not how to manage jealousy, competition, or emotional projection. We're told to make friends, but not how to repair trust, how to apologize, how to love someone without needing to fix them. Carl Jung believed that real maturity only begins when we become aware of the unconscious roles we play in relationships. The rescuer, the victim, the controller, the ghost. Relational intelligence begins when we see those roles and gently start stepping out of them. So what does it look like? It's pausing when someone triggers you and asking, what part of me is reacting? It's staying present in difficult conversations, not to win, but to understand. It's disagreeing without dehumanizing. It's being honest without cruelty. It's knowing how to hold space for another person's fear without losing your own grounding. It's also knowing when to walk away with integrity, not drama. This intelligence isn't obvious. It doesn't shout. But it holds families together. It builds trust. It transforms teams. It deepens love. And it takes time. You don't master it by reading a book. You grow it by failing, by hurting and being hurt, and choosing to stay conscious through the repair. Without relational intelligence, you might be liked, but you won't be known. You might win arguments, but lose intimacy. Because connection isn't about being right, it's about being real. This is the second kind of intelligence school never measured, but it determines the quality of your life more than any GPA ever could. You think you know yourself, but when was the last time you asked your body? You analyze, you explain, you reflect, but do you notice when your shoulders tense, when your stomach tightens, when your breath disappears? This is the third type of intelligence you can't learn in school, embodied intelligence, the ability to feel truth, safety, and direction, not in your thoughts, but in your flesh. It's the difference between saying I'm fine and realizing your jaw has been clenched all day. It's the difference between thinking you've moved on and realizing your chest still aches every time you hear their name. Carl Jung wrote, "The body is the living expression of the unconscious." And yet, we're taught to treat the body like a machine, or worse, like an inconvenience. We push past exhaustion, we override hunger, we ignore pleasure, we treat pain as failure instead of as feedback. But the body is not your enemy. It's not your cage. It's your compass. And embodied intelligence means learning to listen to it. It means noticing when something feels expansive and when it contracts. It means asking, is this tension mine? Is this tiredness telling me something deeper? It means realizing that trauma doesn't live in memory, it lives in tissue. That intuition isn't a mystical idea. It's often just subtle bodily data you never learned how to read. School taught you to sit still, to perform despite discomfort, to live in your head. But life requires something else, a return to your physical center. This kind of intelligence looks like knowing when you're unsafe, even if everything looks fine. Trusting a gut feeling, even if logic says otherwise. Noticing the tremble before the tears. Choosing rest before collapse. Saying no because your body said no first. before your mind could rationalize it away. Embodied intelligence is slow, subtle, often ignored, but it keeps you grounded when anxiety rises. It tells you the truth when your mind is spinning. It reveals your boundaries, your longings, your limits. Without it, you live in theory. You betray yourself with a smile. You stay in relationships, jobs, cities, long after your body has already left. And the tragedy is, you call that strength. But it's not strength. It's disconnection. This intelligence doesn't make you successful. It makes you real, rooted, alive. Because your body is not just a thing that carries your brain, it is the language of your soul. This is the third kind of intelligence school never gave you, but your life is still waiting for you to reclaim it. One breath at a time, one moment of noticing, one yes or no that rises from your bones. You were taught the rules. Don't cheat, don't steal, don't hurt. But morality isn't a checklist, it's a mirror, a question that keeps evolving, a fire that burns when you ignore it and burns when you follow it. This is the fourth type of intelligence you can't learn in school, moral imagination. The ability to act from conscience, not compliance. To think with your soul, not just your strategy. To ask not only, what can I get away with, but what would I respect myself for doing? It's not about virtue signaling. It's not about being perfect. It's about navigating the gray. Because most of life doesn't happen in black or white. It happens in tension, in complexity, in choices that won't make everyone happy, and yet you still have to choose. Carl Jung believed the process of individuation meant becoming a moral being, not by following rules, but by becoming aware of your shadow and choosing what to do with its power. But moral imagination isn't loud. It whispers. It's the voice that says, just because it's legal doesn't make it right. Just because it's normal doesn't mean it's good. Just because no one sees you doesn't mean it doesn't matter. It's what keeps you awake at night and what helps you sleep once you choose well. But most of us were never trained to think this way. We were rewarded for obedience, punished for asking uncomfortable questions, taught that being nice was the same as being good. So we grew up confused, able to solve complex math problems, but unable to tell when we've betrayed our own values. Moral imagination means developing inner criteria, not just what others approve of, but what your conscience can live with. It's the quiet discipline of self-respect, the integrity to say, I won't do this even if it costs me something. I will do this even if no one claps. So what does it look like? Returning a wallet no one saw you pick up. Standing up for someone when it's inconvenient. Apologizing before you're asked. Not laughing at the joke that targets someone else's pain. Refusing to rationalize what you know deep down is wrong. This intelligence doesn't make headlines. It doesn't get you followers. But it gives you something rarer, peace. Not the peace of comfort, but the peace of integrity, of waking up in the morning and not feeling split. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be honest. And that honesty, that ability to imagine the ethical weight of your actions, is one of the rarest forms of intelligence we have. It's not measurable, it's not teachable in a lecture, but it's essential, because without it, you might win, but you will lose yourself. This is the fourth type of intelligence school never taught. But the world, and your own soul, is asking for it every day. You did everything right. You followed the steps, got the grades, got the job, built the life you were told to want, and yet, somewhere inside, you feel empty, like the map you were given doesn't lead anywhere real. This is the fifth type of intelligence school never taught you: existential resilience. The ability to stand in the unknown without collapsing into distraction, despair, or denial. It's not just the ability to endure hard times. It's the ability to sit with meaninglessness and still breathe, to face questions like, why am I here? What matters when nothing seems to matter? What do I do when life doesn't reward me for doing what I was told? Carl Jung believed that modern life alienated us from the soul, that when we lost our myths, our inner lives began to starve. He didn't want answers. He wanted depth. Because the deeper you go, the less the world can give you the meaning you seek, and the more you must create it yourself. But no one teaches you that. You're told to find your passion, follow your dreams, optimize your time. But no one prepares you for the moment when none of that is enough, when silence feels unbearable, when you stare into your own life and ask, is this it? Existential resilience is the strength to not turn away, to not run back to comfort, to not blame the world or yourself. It's the strength to stay, to feel the weight of the question without needing a quick answer, to hold space for grief without rushing to feel better, to sit in the not yet and trust that something deeper is forming, even if you can't name it. This intelligence is rare because it's not rewarded, it's not praised, it's not even visible. It looks like long walks, like deep sighs, like spiritual hunger, like letting go of the timeline you thought you were supposed to follow. It's the moment you stop asking, how do I fix this? And start asking, what part of me is being asked to grow? It's what keeps you grounded when everything you once believed begins to fall away. It's the wisdom of someone who has suffered and stayed open, of someone who has lost and still listens, of someone who knows meaning isn't found. It's built in stillness, in truth, in presence. This is the final type of intelligence, not glamorous, but essential, because life will break your heart. It will disappoint your expectations. It will strip away your illusions. And when it does, this is the intelligence that says, stay and begin again. From here, from truth, from you. Maybe you're not broken. Maybe you were just never seen for the way you're truly intelligent. Not in grades, not in speed, not in how well you performed under pressure, but in how deeply you feel, how honestly you reflect, how bravely you sit with the questions that don't have answers. School measured the mind, but it didn't measure the soul. It didn't know how. It couldn't see emotional depth as knowledge, couldn't see inner conflict as growth, couldn't see stillness as strength. But life sees it, and so do you. Because even if no one ever told you, somewhere deep inside, you've always known. There are things you understand that no classroom ever mentioned. You've made peace in moments when others fought. You've paused when everything told you to push. You've felt when it would have been easier to numb, and that too is intelligence. You can't prove it on paper. You can't win awards for it, but it's there, in the choices you make when no one is watching, in the way you speak to yourself in silence, in the courage it takes to ask, is this really who I want to be? These 5 types of intelligence don't live in your resume. They live in your body, in your relationships, in your resilience, in your integrity, in your longing to make life mean something more than just achievement. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what makes you human. Not how fast you run, but how deeply you see. Not what you earn, but what you're willing to feel. So, if you've ever thought you weren't smart enough, try asking a different question. What kind of intelligence have I carried all along, in silence, waiting to be named?